So today is June 24th, 2025, and I'm at the park. I just finished taking a walk. I did about 30 minutes, and I feel good. You know, it's nice and warm out. It's about 81 degrees, and it's not going to get too much hotter today. I want to say early to mid 80s. That's about it. I sent Boopy a text this morning, and it just said grass. And the last text I sent him before that said the same thing. You know, I had to remind him every 2 weeks to cut the grass, as if the other lawnmowers starting up, you know, in our neighborhood is not the cue. But that's neither here nor there, because Boopy should be leaving in about a week. we shall see. Lily, that's what woke me up, the door closing, because she and her friends went to Michigan Adventure today, so they should be on the road en route. Her friend came and got her, so I was just thinking how cool it would be if Boopy found somewhere to be today too. And I can have the whole house to myself for a change, you know? I would love that. My mood has been okay. I think on a scale of 1 to 10 has been about a 6. My motivation has been low, but I'm pushing through. I have not been feeling, you know, that I look the best, even though it comes and goes. The other day I dyed my hair and I was like, oh, honey, you look good. And then it kind of tapered off. I'm trying to bounce back in life where I feel I look my best and I am my best that I've ever been in my life. And it's work. I need to turn the TV off and star in my own life versus watching people live pretend lives. That's all we do when we watch TV. We watch actors and actresses pretend to live different lives, you know, these different storylines. And it just consumes us and entertains us. I'm not depressed. I'm just not necessarily joyful, you know? Last night I consumed damn near all my calories for today. Between the hours of midnight and 1, I think I have like 350 calories left for today. And I don't know if I want to turn today into a indulge day or just, you know, eat me a little watermelon and one of my 250 calorie meal prep meals and call it a day. I don't know how I'm leaning today. In this very moment, I feel like I can take me a nap. time gets away from me, and I look up and I'm like, what have you gotten done? I still need to finish my book. I still need to prioritize narration. I'm getting enough practice with editing, like videos and audio, just as like a hobby for my YouTube channel. But there's just this feeling that won't go away, that I'm still not doing enough in my life to make it financially better. Everything else I'm working on, my better self, mental and health. Financially, I don't think I'm doing as much work as I need to prosper. My energy has not been the best. I need to go get my Geritol now that I'm thinking about it. You know what? You have days where you don't want to look at yourself, you know? I've lost 40 pounds, and still sometimes I'm looking at myself so harshly. Like, I know I can clean up pretty nice. The aging thing, once again, has been just hard for me. I'm looking at this little spider come up the side of my window like, dude, if you climb in this car, how about I just let this window up? I don't know if I'm overdue for a cry, you know? But I feel it brewing. I feel it brewing. The desire to have my best life is always there. The motivation to have my best life, for the most part, is there. Me being too hard on myself, maybe. Maybe. It just feels like life sometimes is just overrated. It's just some days finding contentment is hard. My life could be worse. My life could be better. I enjoy my time alone. I'm just tired. Not even a physical thing. It's just a life thing. Wishing somebody could enhance my life, but living in the reality that it's just hard to come by. Good-hearted, good intentions, loving, selfless men. You know what? I think what triggered that is D coming back into my life, if I'm honest, because you know, he talked this good talk and really not offering nothing. Words. And I have learned that lesson, that words without actions are meaningless. And I think the fact that, you know, he sent me this, what was it? It was a Michael Jackson song, I think. What was it? I Just Can't Stop Loving You. And then when I let it run its course and saw where he was going with it, and he said, I'm in the D, but the question remains if you want the D in you. And it was at that moment that I realized, same shit, different day. And I no longer want to play. I just text him, I'm not at home. I had already told him in a couple texts above the one that he said that, because he had already put it out there, he wanted to see me, and we could just have dinner and go home. And I'm like, come on now. I'm just not going to put myself in that place, you know, anymore. So to come back a couple texts later, you know, we're not talking about 24-hour time span. We're talking about in a matter of, you know, a few hours, to say, you know, in so many words, I'm here, what's up? And what old boys say in Friday, not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Do you know how big your balls gotta be to think that you can, you know, kind of hop in and out somebody's life according to your convenience? But I guess it's not really balls, it's what you really sincerely think you can get away with. And yeah, once again, I'm just not in that place with D anymore. I don't want to have a situationship, because I can't even call it friends with benefits. It benefits me in no other way but, you know, having company for a limited amount of time. Because if I'm honest, it's not like the sex is spectacular. Can we be honest? Can I be honest? It's the intimacy of being close to somebody and feeling loved and secure in that moment. Always felt a need to drink, beforehand to make it easier, because I really couldn't connect with that person intimately, like in any other way. Does that make sense? But I thought about being with Dee, romantically. And I laughed because I was like, I can think of like 10 other things that I would find more enjoyable than meeting you at a hotel to hear you talk about boring ass stuff going on in your life. Have a mini little vent session, then have a physical session of 5 to 10 minutes, and then a little TV and sleeping and taking my ass home. So not worth it to me. Even if there was dinner had, beforehand, it's not appetizing anymore, And I think the many times that was the case was seriously a cure for boredom. It was me liking the attention of, a man, or in that masculine energy, or the compliments and the, the feeling of being desired. And somewhere along the line, I was just like, I don't give a good goddamn, how a man feels about me anymore. And when I got to that point, it made it easier to just be like, yeah, if you can't capture my mind and my heart genuinely, you don't deserve anything else. They used to have this commercial, was it even a commercial? It was a saying people would say. Was it I could have a V8? It was like some kind of juice, and it was like, I'd rather have a V8 or something. I'm butchering it, but basically it was just saying, this versus that, man, I could have had me like a can of juice. I just, and it was vegetable juice at that. So for you to want vegetable juice from a can more than whatever's going on in your life at the moment says a lot. It means whatever that thing going on in your life is just, ugh. In comparison to a can of vegetable juice, of processed vegetable juice. Yeah. That's the thing. I've removed men from my life in that sense. Because I've said in a previous journal, I'm just focusing on me. I had published a vlog to my YouTube, and it was like manless until 50. And that was, pretty much not what I was talking about, but it was going in that direction that I think I have made some type of silent agreement with myself that I'm just going to keep on working on me, because I'm slowly getting better in all facets of my life. And that has come from being alone and reflecting and doing work that needs to be done on myself to be happy on my terms. And just removing men has just freed up the energy, all that energy that I would put into, you know, beauty or whatever it is, to get that rise, no pun intended, out of a man. I guess that too. Just use that energy for myself. That's so much more energy for yourself. Relationships in the past for me have been work. And like I've said before, I don't feel like relationships should be work. They shouldn't be hard work. It either works or it doesn't. And I don't want to have to pander to men. And you know, I every time that I've been in a relationship with a man, I feel like I have lost a little bit more of myself, you know, and that I've, to some extent, I just sacrificed too much, and I lost myself in a relationship only because I invested more in them than I did myself. And my sister Jackie just texted me. Mr. Spider has left. I let my window down. Get some. I think I low-key let the heat back in. Hell, shoot, I was on to something with that window. That tent keeps, you know, hot be gone. Unless the car is moving, then, you know, that wind comes through. But yeah, that's it. I think I'm just going to stay the course and keep doing me. Just keep working on my website until it generates money for me. However that may be, because I haven't figured that out. And see, that's the thing. It's things that I could be doing, but the energy to do it, I just don't. I feel like going back home, crawling in my bed, under the air, and watching TV and sleeping. That's all I want to do. And each day I wake up and I'll be like, T, you need to get in the studio. You need to get some writing done. And then I look up and it's midnight, or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Good things are happening to me right now. I just came from outside from being in the rain. It was raining. I don't know if you can. It didn't slow down a lot now, but it was like raining, and it just felt so nice. Put my feet in the water, put my hands in the water. And I don't know how healthy rainwater is these days, but it seems like when I was a kid, you know, rainwater was healthy. I don't know what's in it, or depending on who you ask, if it's man-made, generated, or whatever, but I know the feeling is still the same of, you know, just that feeling of rejuvenating the earth and people slowing down. And I've come to love the rain. Um, that's all I want to say. Sitting in my studio, I need to be doing some studio work, but I haven't. Today's been one of those days I went from kind of feeling sad to getting my walk in, feeling a little bit better, I guess, as time went on. And today is going to be one of those overeating days because I got a bag of Takis. I got a bag of Chewy Reese cup cookies, and both are half gone. It is 7:06 and they're both half gone. So it is what it is. Every so often I have to give myself a day just to eat what the hell I want. I'm thinking about ordering some damn pizza. How about that? How about that? And it is what it is. You know? Yes, I got the titties out today. I think once upon a time I used to be a booty girl, but after menopause my body wanted to reinvent itself. It's a nice way of saying, what in the entire fuck am I dealing with shape-wise now? I've lost some weight, so it's looking better, but my stomach still ain't quite what it used to be. But these boobies, man, I'm trying to tell you, when I sit them up, these things be banging. I'm starting to believe they're a crowd pleaser, so while they still got some bounce in them and some shimmy and some, can hike them up and they still can, perform, I'm gonna let them do what they do, when you get to a certain age that you are, 70, 80, God willing 90, depending on the type of woman you are and the life that you have lived, you're just going to have memories at some point in your life. It's going to be more memories than the creation of new memories. So the wild side, the sassy side, take a few risks side is where I'm at. Just being my authentic, ideal self, and that has a nice amount of sass in it, naturally. I will say I feel much better than I did earlier. I think I had to get a few tears out my system, clean out the tear ducts. You got to use them. And that felt good. Sometimes a good cry is therapeutic. It just cleanses the soul and it helps to purge and refresh and reset. And how perfect it is that it actually rained today as well. So, and I got to enjoy that. So today is just feed my emotions, relax, and do a whole lot of nothing. I'm supposed to call my brother. I need to call him and check on him. So I'm gonna go. Good things are happening to me right now.